Welcome everybody, welcome everybody. Everybody do me a favor and share this feed. Everybody do me a favor and share this feed. Let's get this feed going, baby. Hey, from London. We got London in the house. Everybody share the feed. The Limitless Mafia is in here. I want them to share the feed. I need everybody to share this feed. I want to get this room packed. Everybody's been bugging me and asking me to do my story, man. I'm super stoked to do this. I'm excited to do this. So I'm going to share this with the world. Ohio's in the house. The Big Dreamer, what's up? Ambition's in the house. Everybody, please share this feed. I want to pack this room. This is going to have a high impact on everybody in life, whether you are successful or if you are just beginning or you are just anybody. It doesn't matter who you are or what you think of yourself. This is going to impact everybody in the world. Chi-Town's in the house. Everybody, please share this feed. Get this room packed. I'm about to tell everybody. I just quit my business call to watch this. Limitless Ambition. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Blow this room up. Let's get this room full. Mr. Harris is in the house. Dedication from Ambition Live. Definitely. We got Philly in the house. Guys, everybody share the feed. Let's blow this up. I'm going to give you guys some info, man, and some insight on me and who I am, what I do, where I'm from, the adversities I faced, the problems that everybody thinks is impossible to overcome. How does the sound come through? It's kind of windy out here. I didn't expect it to be windy right now. Does the sound pretty good? Yes, it's getting packed, guys. Clear. It's great. All right, good. Everybody share the feed. As you're coming in, everybody share the feed, baby. We're about to show everybody what this is about, what Ambition and myself has created over the last week. But everyone's been on me about giving my life story, so I'm going to give it to everybody in the raw. As soon as you guys in here, please, you guys... as soon as you get in here, you guys please share the feed. You guys are amazing. I love you guys to death. We are going to do it right now. It's coming live. Yeah, hit up Cody. Guys, we'll give it a few seconds. This is it, man. All right, guys, check it out. This is what it's about. Guys, the whole point of this story and why I've been trending and why everyone's been talking about me and why everyone's been asking my story is because of the adversities I've faced, the problems I've overcome, and this is it, guys. This is the real deal. So, no, I'm going to leave the chat on, guys, but I'm going to try not to answer too much of it so I can get to the story. All right, my name is John Peter Cerrone. You guys all know me as JC Limitless here on Periscope, on Twitter, Instagram, and everywhere else. You guys, in the last 10 days, I've got over 1 million hearts. I just got on Periscope. I've become kind of trending. So my name is John Peter Cerrone. When I was born Giovanni Pietro Cerrone. Growing up, I was growing up with C.E.O. Growing up, I was in a abusive home with my father. My father was very physically and mentally abusive. Not like molestation or anything like that, but he used to beat on us, and I'll get into all that stuff in a second. So, guys, here we go. I was born Giovanni Pietro Cerrone. To this day, my birth certificate says Giovanni Pietro Cerrone on it. My social security card says John Peter Cerrone. And the reason that is because as I was growing up, when I was about 8 years old, my mom and dad split up. And my dad came to me and asked me who I wanted to live with. And I told my dad I wanted to live with my mom. And the reason I wanted to live with my mom is because he used to beat us. Guys, like, I remember trying to learn my timetables in school, in grade school. He would put cigarettes out on my hand every time I got an answer wrong. He would beat us. He beat my mom. I remember a time as a young kid, he came to the house and we had a cat that had kittens. And he kicked this box of kittens across the room, walked into the kitchen, yelling at my mom. Just so everybody knows, my mom worked 3 jobs at the time. My dad did not work at all. He thought he was Mr. Big Time and didn't have to work, and my mom had to take care of everything. He walked into the kitchen. He's seen dirty dishes in the sink. I came out of the bedroom, and I heard them yelling. My dad literally grabbed a pistol from on top of the refrigerator, grabbed my mom's hand, and pistol whipped my mom's hands until they broke. guys, it was very abusive. It was very crazy. It was, God, I mean, God is the only reason that I think that I got through any of this. And when he asked me who I wanted to live with, and I told him my mom because of what he did, my mom is the best mom in the world, you guys. Like, she raised me, my 3 sisters by herself as a waitress. If you guys have not shared, please share the feed. My dad came to me and said that because I wanted to live with my mom, he said that I didn't deserve to have the Italian name. So he went down to Social Security, changed my name from Italian to English. My name was Giovanni Pietro Cerrone. I told him I want to live with my mom. He changed it to John Peter Cerrone. So from that time on, my mom and dad split up. They tried to get back together. It didn't work out. You know, we went to Colorado. My mom and dad tried to get back together. We went to Colorado. My dad tried to work out there. It didn't work out. We went down to Florida. My dad started being abusive again to all his people, all his kids. We got down there to Florida. We were there for a while. I remember going to school. We were literally like sleeping in a moving truck. There was me, my 3 sisters, my mom, and my dad sleeping in a moving truck on the floorboards, on the dashboard, in the back of the box truck. We finally got money together to get in a hotel, and I remember they finally got me into school. I was finally able to get into school, and I didn't know how to react because I was coming in and out of school so many times that everything was just a mess. Like, I didn't know how to socialize. I didn't know where we were. The curriculum was different in each state. You know, in one state we were learning times tables, and the next state these guys are doing algebra. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I was totally lost. My grades fell off. Everything went bad. And when I got there, they asked every one of us kids to draw a picture of your house. Draw a picture of your house, they said. So everybody drew a picture of a house, and I drew a picture of a hotel, which brought DCFS and everybody else in because they wanted to know why we didn't live in a residence. So I got my parents in trouble. They were mad at me. My dad beat me for what I drew on that piece of paper. And so they got into arguing and stuff. And I remember that night we were all back in. We didn't have money for the hotel anymore, and we were sleeping in the moving truck. We got in the moving truck, and we were sleeping. I remember waking up on the floorboard and seeing red and blue lights flashing everywhere. I got out. I looked over. I seen my mom. She peed on herself. My dad and her were going at it. My mom's face was swollen up. The cops were there. They threw my dad in the back of the squad car. My mom begged for them not to arrest him, just to let him go and for us to split our ways. And my dad said, fine, that's cool. He got in the moving truck, picked up a can of beans and a can of SpaghettiOs, threw it out the window of the moving truck onto the ground. When he threw it on the ground, he said, there you go, guys, have a nice life, I'll see you later. That was the end of it. I didn't see my dad again. He left us there in a parking lot with no money, no clothes, no food. Sorry, guys. No, nothing. So from that point on, my mom, she went back into waitressing again. She got enough money together for a little beater car. She got enough money for fuel to get us back up here by Chicago. Sorry, guys. We got back up here to Chicago. My uncle was getting into real estate. He was doing very well, and he was doing really well. He had an apartment complex. There was an apartment there, a 1-bedroom apartment that was available. And we moved in there. It was me, my mom, and my 3 sisters that stayed there. At this time, I started growing up a little bit. I was about 13 years old at the time. And I felt like I was the man of the house now. You know, things were changing. I was growing. I was starting to become a man. So I slept by the front door on the floor. Sorry, guys, I can't look at the screen, man, by the comments because it's throwing me off. I slept on the floor by the front door right there because I felt like I was protecting the house. I got into high school, and in high school I hung out with everybody, man. I was cool with everybody, you know. Like, I got there, I was hanging out with everybody. Like, I was hanging around like all the hippie people, all the smart kids, all the different types of gangs. Yeah, I'm gonna hide the chat, guys. All right, that's better. I started hanging around like all the different gangs and stuff. So like, I won't name any names of gangs or anything like that, but I was hanging around all kinds of different kinds of people. I never joined a gang. I was never in a gang, nothing like that. But because I was hanging around all these different kinds of people as we're growing up, all these gang members were like, hey, why are you hanging out with this gang? And this gang's like, why are you hanging out with that gang? And that gang's like, why are you hanging out with this gang? And I'm like, guys, like, I'm just cool with everybody. We all grew up together in school. We all grew up together, you know, as like, you know, friends. Like, why are we doing this? What is going on, you know? So it got to a point where one day I was walking home from school, and on my way home from school, these two kids were following me, and they're walking behind me. And I looked back, and one of them had a gun on him, and one of them pulled the gun and started running towards me. So I took off running, and a rival gang member, we were in a rival neighborhood, came out of the house, and he called his uncle, and he said, hey, uncle, come out here, I need you. He came running out with a shotgun, and that kid dropped that pistol right there and took off running. So I made friends with that guy. And then I started hanging around with that gang. I never joined that gang, but I hung around that gang because I felt accepted. Like, I got tired of being beat up at school. I got tired of everybody driving on me, like, who you hanging out with, what is going on. I was getting beat up every day in school. Like, I started finally doing good with my grades. I didn't like doing my homework, but I aced all my tests. You know, I started feeling, like, comfortable as who I was learning. So as I was going through school, you know, like, I started hanging around this group of people, I would say, and I started getting in trouble because this gang was the majority black, and they were all my friends, you know, and all my white friends made fun of me because I was hanging out with black people, and all the black people were like trying to, you know, test me because I was hanging out with them. They felt that I wasn't worthy enough to be around them, so I was constantly trying to prove myself to them, which led to me getting into a bunch of trouble, guys. I actually went and did prison time in 1999. I went to prison for burglary. What it was is these guys wanted me to make a name for myself, and they said I wouldn't do something, so I did it. And it was stupid on my part, guys, and I don't regret anything I did. I feel bad for what I did, but the things that I went through made me who I am today, and this is what the point of the story is about. So I'm going out with my life. I came back home. I'm going out with my life. You know, I started doing good. I got into the union. You know, I was working first at like an oil change place for $6.75 an hour. That's all I made was $6.75 an hour. And this union job came across where I made $28.75 an hour. And you guys, as you know, I just told you, we came up very poor. We didn't have much money. So when I got this job, I didn't even know how to act. I never had this much money in my life. I'm clearing $12 to $1,500 a week in my pocket. So I'm going out and I'm getting in trouble now because I'm going out drinking and hanging out with people and doing my thing. And I ended up losing my union job because of the crash. And, you know, when the economy crashed, I lost that job. My truck started getting repoed. I was falling behind in rent, you know, and I had a friend of mine that dealt drugs. And anytime I needed money for something, he'd loan it to me. So I called him up. I'm like, dude, hey, check it out, man. I'm going through a hard time. I need $100. And at the time, I missed a part. Back in 2001, when I came home after I got in trouble, I went to Illinois Center for Broadcasting and graduated from there. I liked production. I got into radio. And, you know, once I got in there, I got a job working for a radio station after I interned, and they were paying like, I think it was like $8.25 an hour. And I think it was 4 hours a day, 4 days a week. And I'm like, I spent all this money that I saved up to go to the school, and I'm not making nothing. So that's when I got in the union. Then the union fell out. All that went down. I lost the union gig. And so I started DJing at bars. And that's when I called my buddy, and I'm like, dude, I need your help, man. I need $100 so I can keep my phone on, blah, blah, blah. So he called me up. And he went off on me on the phone, man, and then he showed up at the bar where I was DJing at, and he gave me a scale and some cocaine, and he said, here, check this out. You owe me $80 for this. You can make $250. Well, that's where it all went wrong again. I made a bad decision because I loved the lifestyle that I had living with the union, and this was another way for me to do it because I couldn't get a job making money like that again, and I ended up going to prison again. I did this, honestly, for probably about 6 years before I got in trouble. So I went to prison. I came home, and while I was in there, that's where everything changed, you guys. Like, I went in there and I witnessed, you know, through Stateville Prison. I went through Joliet Prison on Collins Street. And in the summertime, there's no air conditioning in these buildings. These buildings are ancient. Summertime, the prison inmates would break the windows out because it was so hot in there, and we're locked in cages in there. Like, they would bust the windows out with stuff. So the warden got mad and he wouldn't fix the windows. Come wintertime, when I got there, the toilet water was freezing in the toilets, guys. Like, we literally had to take our feet and stomp on the water in the toilet just to get it to flush so we could use it. Guys were cutting open their mattresses so we can get inside them to stay warm. Guys, it really got out of control, crazy. Like, that's when I started realizing, like, I don't belong here. I'm making mistakes. This is completely not where I'm supposed to be in my life. Like, something is wrong. And I came across books like Robert Greene and Napoleon Hill, and it blew my perspective of life out of the water. It changed everything for me. I could never go back to the way I thought or perceived life again. From that point on, my mind expanded so much that it couldn't shrink back to that again. And I realized when I was out there doing what I was doing, selling drugs, that I am basically an entrepreneur. I've got a skill. Like, I'm good with people. I can talk to people. I know how to sell. I know how to deal with people. I'm getting into something. So I started falling down back, with no money because there was no work, and I had $237 left in my name. I was 7 months behind in rent. I had generators running in my fridge. I had no heat, no hot water. My water was shut off. Honestly, I didn't even have water, even if I wanted hot water, because I had no gas or water. I had nothing. So I took my last $237 and I left $1 in my bank account and took the rest and made business cards. I took those business cards and I handed them out to as many people as I could. And it just said Cerrone Construction, commercial residential, with my phone number on it. That's all it said on there. And I started handing those cards out to anywhere I could. And granted, all I did was asphalt my whole life. I never did anything else but asphalt. And I started getting calls to frame houses. I started getting calls to do concrete. I started getting calls to build homes from the ground up. And the first one that I got was to frame some houses. And it was 2 houses. They're about 1,100 square foot. And I got offered $25,000 to frame both these houses just for labor. So when I got in there and I framed up these 2 houses, what I did was I've never picked up a hammer in my life. I've never picked up a hammer in my entire life, and I told this guy that I could frame houses. But I knew I had union carpenter buddies that were not working, so I hired them to work for me, and I sent them over there to frame the houses up. I put nail bags on, I put a hammer in my hand, and I worked with them. I learned how to do it with them. But I ended up making $9,000 in 2 weeks off those 2 houses. And it hit me like a ton of bricks because I'm like, here's my niche. Here's my niche. People like me. I'm a people person. I can get work. People are coming to me. All I have to do is give them a great price and deliver quality work as fast as we can, and we're made. We got it. And from that point on, it took off, and I've not looked back since. I started that business in 2011, and through 2014, I had almost $400,000 run through my account. I turned $236 into almost $400,000 in 3 years. So I found my niche. Now I'm getting into like the bigger businesses, like the restoration companies, all types of different bigger builders that can't handle the work. They're calling me in to get it done because I made a name for myself. I made such a name for myself that when I go into supply houses, granted, I'm in this business for 3 years, you guys, and I got people that's been in this for 25, 30 years. I'm seeing at the supply house, giving me dirty looks, talking bad to me, saying dirty things about me, that I'm stealing their work and blah, blah, blah. And who are you? You're nobody. We've been in this game for 30 years. You're not going to come here and steal my work. And I walked out of there. I held my composure, and I didn't say nothing back to them. I got my material ordered. I walked outside, and I literally walked out to the front of the road. And I smiled so big because I walked out there, man. I just looked up at the sky, and I smiled so big because I'm like, I made it. I did it. This is what I'm looking for. This is the response I'm looking for out of people. It tells me that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm doing very well at what I'm doing. I'm starting to be successful, and this is my 3rd year in. I almost had $500,000 run through my account. I've got people in this game for 30 years looking at me like I'm crazy. They have no idea like who I am or what I'm doing, and I'm in here taking this by storm. So I said, look, you know what? I can do this and I can do anything. I want to get into something else because, now that I've done what I've done, I'm starting to get bored with it. I'm starting to not get bored with it, but I'm like, I feel like I conquered this. So now I'm getting into merchant services. I handle card processing for small to medium businesses. We go through and what we do is we lower processing rates. We secure terminals that are not EMV compliant, and I make a killing doing it. I make anywhere from $800 to $2,500 off a sale, plus I get residuals for what I do. So not only am I running my contracting business, but now I'm also making residual money every month to add on to what I've overcome. Guys, I don't care what is out there. I don't care what little thing that you guys are crying about. I don't care who says you can't do this and who says you can't do that, guys. I'm going to tell you right now the exact recipe for greatness. And I'm on my way. I'm in the middle of it. I am in the middle of what is going on in 3 years. Like, I will be a millionaire. You guys will see me right here on Periscope turn into a millionaire. I guarantee it within the next year. I guarantee it. And I'm not just talking about money running through my account. I'm talking about in my pocket, all my profit. This is what I do. Nobody's going to stop me. Nobody's going to stop anything that I'm about. And I am here to share my story and show every last person that's had one doubt in their mind that they can't do something, that they can do it. I'm going to show you guys how it's done. And right now, there's a guy in here right now. I just turned my chat back on because I can get my emotional complex back together, man, because I'm tired of this. Right there, Limitless Ambition. Ambition right there. Him and I got together, and we follow a bunch of great people like Grant Cardone, Ken Walls, Scott Lewis, Jason Stone, Cody Sperber. We follow all these guys, and we keep seeing each other in all these different periscopes. So what Ambition and myself have done is and Sean Thomas, what we have done is we grabbed all these followers and we brought them over to an app, and this app is called Quad, where every one of us entrepreneurs, go-getters, goal smashers, successful people, everyone from beginners to multi-millionaires are coming to this quad because of Ambition and myself to meet up, and we come together there to help inspire and share our advice, our secrets, our knowledge. We are global, guys. Like this quad, this limitless ambition, this limitless mafia, which everyone decided to call themselves. We are the Limitless Mafia. We are global. We are not going global. We are actually global right now, networking global around the world. We are all going to go to London soon. That's going to be our first big goal. I'm going to show Ambition to myself. We're going to show everybody how we can achieve goals. So we decided, Ambition and myself decided, hey, let's do this together, just him and I. But then we decided, hey, why don't we take the whole LA Mafia over there? We're going to be over there. The Limitless Ambition Mafia is going to London. So we're going to get as many people together as we can to go over to London, and we're going to do this as a big group. All of us. We're going to figure out a reasonable date where everyone's got enough time to get their money together, and who can't figure out how to get their money together, we're going to show them how to get their money together. They're going. If you have the urge to go, if you have the drive to go, you will be there because we're going to help you. I'm in this until the world blows up. I am never leaving this. This is what it is. So yeah, I started my family, Sky. It's over, man. But I want you guys to watch this again. I'm going to run through this real quick. That way I can end this. So this is the end of my story. But basically, we are networking globally. We have come together. We are a huge family. We can't be stopped. They say that 3% of the world are entrepreneurs. We are more rare than that 3%. We are the 1%ers, and we are going to grow to 3, 5, 8, 10% in this world. Remember, guys, we started Quad, and we've got in probably over 1,000 people in Quad, 1,200 people in Quad right now, and this is just from Periscope. Think about how many people in the world don't even know Periscope exists, you guys. Think about it. Think about how many people don't even know Periscope exists. Wait till we can reach the rest of the world. We're going to get out there. We're going to let everyone know what it is. I'll tell everybody about it when I come back. Guys, I'm shutting it down. I'm leaving. I'm going to get right back on because this is getting on YouTube. Go to my YouTube and check it out if you missed it.